All right. Sorry, give me a second. Still setting up here. But now it's time for my top 3 movies of 2024. If y'all see my last reviews, Nosferatu and Sonic 3, I said in those videos that I already had my list and I was ready to make the video, but someone told me to wait until I see Sonic and Nosferatu. I might change on my list. And I did. They was absolutely right. Sonic 3 and Nosferatu was I wouldn't say a huge shocker, but it did surprise me of how good both of those were. And they did make my top 10 list. Now, we're going to go through the whole list from 10 to 1, but I'm going to be real with y'all. These 10 are not in any specific order. These are the best, in my opinion, that came out this year. What order, I don't really know. I even took the time to sit there and think. I was like, what is number 1? And I was looking, I'm like, it will be between these other 2 movies. I'm not going to say the names yet. You know what? At the end of the video, I might have a number 1. After thinking about it and saying it out loud, I might have a number 1. But these are the best 10, in my opinion, of this year. Now, there's been a lot of other great movies, and so I'm going to have a special recognition list, and I'm going to say that first. It ain't that long, but I do have a special recognition, and I want to mention them. But also to let y'all know, I haven't seen every movie. Let me actually tell y'all the movies I have not seen, so that way you don't think you don't expect them on this list. I did not see Twister. I did not see Quiet Place. I did not see Transformers. I need to go see that. I need to see all these. I want to see every one of these. I did not see Transformers. I did not see Mad Max, Monkey Man, Wicked, and The Substance. Those are the movies I did not see, and I want to take the time to see that soon. So just so you know, those are not on the list. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. I know I made the other one pretty long, so I'm gonna try my best here. Special recognition movies. I'm going to say that now. Then we'll get to the top 10. Maxine, the ending of the trilogy of the X trilogy. X, Pearl, and Maxine. I thought they did a great job with all 3. Pearl, to me, is the best one due to Mia Goth's performance. That performance, especially at the end credits. And, well, there's 2 scenes, but the end credits was like one of the best ones. Shout out to her. But Maxine was a good closeout. All 3 of them had different flavors to it, like a different style. But it worked perfectly with the trilogy. So shout out to Mia Goth, and who was the guy who made it was Mia Goth and someone else who made the movie, who helped make the movie. I forgot, but shout out to everybody who worked on the X trilogy. I thought they did well on that. So yeah, Maxine, Wild Robot, Long Legs. Now I will say, people have really praised this movie as being one of the best of all, like, this year. I wouldn't go that far. It was different, and shout out to Nicolas Cage. His performance was great. It was a good watch, deserving of special recognition, but I would not put it at the top 10. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think it was, when you look at the praise that the movie was getting, it was a disappointment. But if you just ignore the praise and just look at the movie for what it is, and that's what I did, it was a good viewing. I did not waste my time, waste my money seeing it. So it deserves to be in a special recognition. Alien, now this one, I was going back and forth to put it on the list. And actually, it was on the list until I watched Nosferatu and Sonic 3. But Alien, go check it out. Hopefully, they keep building onto this and keep bringing that horror aspect, that dark, claustrophobic feel. So, Alien definitely deserves it. And last but not least, Beekeeper. I forgot that this came out this year. But Beekeeper with Jason Statham. I love his movies, and this is one of my favorites of his lately. Yeah, Beekeepers, very to the point. It's Jason Statham, so you know what you're getting, but it was still enjoyable. So that's my special recognition. Now, we're going to get into the top 10. Like I said, there's no order. After I say these 10, more than likely, knowing how I am, I probably will have like the best movie of the year. I'm looking at the list here, and I'm like, okay, I'm really leaning on this one movie of being the best because of actually, I'm going to get to it right now. So yeah, here we go. Top 10. Number 10, and I'm going to put these 2 movies together because they made them as chapter 1 and chapter 2. But I'm going to put them together. It's Watchmen 1 and 2. The anime, they brought the comic into animated movie, excuse me. I thought they did very well with it, even though I did say in my chapter 2 review that chapter 2 was unnecessary. I believe it was unnecessary because you could have put these in one movie. The total, I believe it was like 3 hours total if you put chapter 1 and 2 together. They could have put those into one movie. So that's why I believe it was unnecessary for chapter 2. But still, it does not remove the fact that this was well made. You know, in every aspect. You can look at my review on it. I thought they did a good job with it. I still wish they brought back Zack Snyder's live action to theaters and let people experience it again. I would prefer that than animated, but still, the way they did it just for the project alone, it deserves to be on my top 10. I'm a Watchmen fan. I thought they did a great job. So that would be number 10. Number 9, now this is a movie that doesn't get a lot of praise, and I don't understand why. It's shout out to Bill Skarsgård too, because he played a deaf and a mute in this movie. Great action, good story, good casting. Boy Kills World. This movie does not get talked about. I think this is a very underrated movie in 2024. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Boy Kills World. The directing, the acting, well, the acting was good. I'm not saying it was like out of this world, but the acting of Bill Skarsgård to play a deaf mute character, and you see the movie from his point of view, like he has a narrator in his head. And the cool part about it is the narrator in his head is not his voice, it's somebody else's, and you hear his thoughts through this other guy's narration. You hear it through this other guy's narration. I thought they did a great job with that. The execution with the action, storyline. I hope they build onto this. Honestly, I'm down for a Boy Kills World. Shout out to Bill Skarsgård for taking on this project. It was a bloody movie, just like you know, but the action is top tier. Really good movie. So yeah, that deserves to be on the list for me. Number 8, Abigail. Abigail is, in my opinion, a sleeper. And what I mean by that is, because it was a girl being a vampire, a little girl, and just chasing people around the house, they thought it was going to be something very lighthearted, you know, like I said, because it's a child playing this vampire. No, the execution of this movie, the characters that's stuck in the house, Abigail, the setting that it was given, like everything in this house and in this basement was done very well. Is it a horror movie where you're going to be jumping out of your seat and scared? No, for me, it's more of a bloody hide and seek vampire movie, I guess you want to call it, but executed very well. It's very simple to the point. Now, there's nothing like out of this world story-wise. It's simple to the point, but like I always say, simple can be very good as long as you execute it right. And the way they did the setting, the casting, all of it, the ending, I thought it was done well. I hope they don't make a second one. This is, in my opinion, this is a one and done, but it was done very well. So shout out to Abigail. What number am I? That was 8. I'm putting this at number 7, but technically it's not a movie, it's a TV show. But since I'm not doing a list for TV, I'm just going to put this one because this one stood out. This one stood out of, I haven't seen a lot of TV shows, but the ones I've seen, and even the ones I've heard from other people, this one really stood out. This will be quick because this is actually a TV show. This is the only one that's TV. Fallout. Fallout was surprisingly good. It surprised me because video game movies are usually a miss. There are a couple hits, but this one was done very well. The casting, the actor, I forgot her name, but she carried this movie very well. As a person who never really played Fallout, I had friends who did. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I was going in just as a viewer of the show. People was telling me to see it because it's a Fallout game. I kept telling them I don't know what to expect. They said go see it anyway, and I'm glad I did because I don't really give TV shows much time. I'm glad I did with this. The execution, the story. I'm looking forward to seeing the progress in season 2. I heard season 2 is coming out, but the character progression, not just from, man, what was her name? The main actress, but also the other ones. Because there was 2 other guys who had a lot of character build up from the first episode on. I'm looking forward to seeing what is going to happen to them in the next season. But the way they was built up in season 1, done very well. The world was done well. Like I said, story, the secrets behind a couple of these characters was executed well. It was no feeling when you got the surprise, background story of certain, I don't want to spoil it. When you got a surprise background of some of these characters, it wasn't a disappointment like, oh, that's what it was. No, it was like, oh, wow. Oh, I get it. Okay. Like you feel, that's the one thing that Fallout did well too. You feel for, man, should I even say it? I don't want to spoil. Anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Fallout, story-wise, execution from beginning to end was done very well. Is it a full-out action? No. It does have a couple slow burns, but I was still entertained. It wasn't a slow burn when I'm about to fall asleep. No, it is a nice amount of parts where you just see them walking and you see the land and all that stuff. But yes, Fallout, as a person who doesn't really know the game story, it was done very well. So we'll move on from that. All right, number 6, Sonic 3. I already had a review on it. You can check it out. That was very enjoyable, bro. It was just a fun, good time. Shout out to Jim Carrey. He did it again. I said it before. I'll say it again. Jim Carrey makes these movies as great as it is. Yes, Sonic, the other characters, especially I love Keanu Reeves as Shadow. Y'all know I love Keanu Reeves. They did a great job, and yes, it was entertaining with them. But what makes it, I'll tell people to go spend your money in theaters. What makes it to that level is Jim Carrey. His performance, oh my goodness. He literally brought back those old, The Mask and Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, Bruce Almighty. He brought that Jim Carrey, that The Grinch, that Jim Carrey back here. And oh my goodness, bro. Him in these movies bring a lot of life to it. And I heard that this is his last one. If it is, like I said, thank you. But I'm interested in seeing how I feel about Sonic now that if Jim Carrey's not going to be in it, because I heard they're making a 4th one. I wonder how I'm going to feel about it, because granted, it was entertaining with Sonic and them. The CGI, the action was done very well. I really enjoyed myself, but I had a lot of laughs and a lot of excitement when Jim Carrey was on that screen. He plays this role so well. And if this is his last one, thank you, Jim Carrey. It was because of him I started watching Sonic, because I wasn't going to give it a time of day. And then he was in it, and I had to. And I'm so glad I wasn't disappointed. Each Sonic, in my opinion, not just with Jim Carrey, but the characters in the movie got better. 2 got better than 1, and now 3 was better than 2. It was a very enjoyable movie. If you're just looking for a good time, I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes. Definitely go check it out. It's enjoyable. Shout out to Jim Carrey and everybody else. All right, number 5. This is top 5. Well, I don't really have it's not in any specific order, but here we go. Number 5. I already did a review on this, so I'm not going to linger on it too long. But shout out to Bill Skarsgård, bro. You did not know that was him as Count Orlok. But shout out to Johnny Depp's daughter. What's her name? I forgot her name, but the main actress in the movie, she did well. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Everybody sold the fact of how scary Orlok is. Because the funny part is, I would not call this a straight up horror, as in a lot of jump scares and, monsters. It wasn't that kind of movie. It was a movie about an obsessive vampire, a vampire who's obsessive over this woman and will do anything to get her. But you still felt the terror of Orlok, even though the movie didn't give him a lot for you to be terrified with. That came from the performances of the actors. The world that Robert Eggers built around it too looked beautiful. Very dark too, by the way. But obviously. Anyway, number 4, Smile 2. Excuse me, voice crack there. Smile 2. I ain't gonna front. I didn't expect this movie to be good. Well, I didn't expect it to be bad, but I was having doubts. I was having my doubts. I was like, okay, is this gonna be one of them sequels to where they was doing it for a money grab because of how good the first one was? I am glad to say that I was wrong in having doubts, because from the opening of the movie on, yeah, it had me gripped to my seat. I was on it. I was looking. I was into it, and I ain't gonna. It's hard to scare me in movies. There was a couple parts that had me go like, "Whew!" It had my heart pumping. There was a scene. Should I spoil? Is it a spoil? There's a scene where she's watching something on her phone. And that scene alone had me like, this was a movie that did jump scares great justice. Because there are some movies, they just throw it in there just for the sake of scaring you and stuff. This movie does it very well. It gets you at moments you did not expect. There are a lot of movies you're like, oh, here it comes. And there it is. This one did it very well. And then it builds up before the jump scares to where you're already terrified of what's happening. And then the jump scare comes and adds more to it. This movie did it very well. Story-wise, did it well. I will say the ending, I was disappointed. I'm not going to share why. The ending, I was disappointed, but not in a way where I didn't enjoy the movie. I still left smiling. It's kind of funny saying that, considering what this movie is. But I still left enjoying myself. It was just, I wish the execution of the ending was done well. And, oh, no, I ain't going to say that because that's going to spoil the movie. But outside of that, Yes, definitely deserves to be checked out if you haven't yet, and definitely deserves to be in my top 10 list. Now, the last three, Bad Boys 4. Shout out to Mike Lowry. Oh my, I'm saying their characters. Shout out to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, everybody part of the film. This was, as a person who's a huge Bad Boys fan, it's always good to see them on screen. And I will say the third one it was enjoyable, but very neutered down compared to when you come out of Bad Boys 2 and how crazy great that movie is, action wise, intensity, everything. When the third one comes out, especially when it's been a long time, I was expecting bam in your face action, and they lowered the action, the intensity of that movie drastically. It was enjoyable because Will Smith and Martin makes it like that. But if I watched it again, when you watch it, number 3 was definitely the last part of the list of the best Bad Boys movies because of the effect it didn't have. 4 raised it back up to Bad Boys 2 standards. No, but still, it respected the age of Will and Martin because they ain't the same age as they was in Bad Boys 2, but it still brings that action intensity to the film, brings other characters in this movie too, and give them shine. Shout out to Reggie. I thought that scene was classic, bro. That's a classic Bad Boy scene with Reggie. If you see it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Will Smith's son, they gave him more shine. Bad Boys 4 seemed like they saw 3 and was like, okay, let's take that feel of Bad Boys 3, just raise up more of, let's give more Bad Boys 2 energy with the age time of Bad Boys 3. It was respecting both. And I guess that's the best way to put it. All right, these are the last 2. And now looking at it after the last 2, I know what my number 1 is. And I'm talking about just best movie of the year. I'll tell you, and I'll explain why after I get to number 2. Number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Marvel. I really believe this was like Marvel's apology to the fans for the last few years of bad movies and TV shows they've been releasing. I don't want to get into the politics of how Hollywood has been. It's been talked about a lot. I'll just say this. I'm glad, and I hope they continue on after this, because that's the thing. This movie did so well, but I hope they continue on with this. But I'm glad they went back to, we're here to entertain the fans. Not here to preach to you. Not here to tell you what to believe in, what to like, whatever. We're not putting one against the other. We ain't trying to uplift the female cast and downgrade the men. We ain't trying to do all that. Everybody can succeed. Just in simpler terms, they brought back just entertainment. That's what these superheroes are for. They're for to just entertain us, to have a good time. And Deadpool Wolverine was a great time. And this was, to be real with y'all, Deadpool Wolverine was a fan-made movie. And what I mean by that is, bring in, and I'm going to say it that, well, it was in commercial. So you said bring in Blade, Gambit, Elektra, cast from Fantastic Four, all these different, and obviously Wolverine was something of a, here you go, fans, we're sorry. I hope you enjoy it. Because if you think about the movie, the story wasn't all that. The villain was very mid. If you really think about it, she could have won. She was really written, like, plot armor really saved the heroes here, because if you think of her, she could have won the whole thing. But plot armor saved, but it wasn't for that. The villain was very mid anyway. So, but over the movie itself was okay. Deadpool, Wolverine together, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together was beautiful. Seeing someone who grew up with the first X-Men, seeing Hugh Jackman still got it, and coming into the MCU, seeing Wesley Snipes still got it coming into the MCU. Elektra, what's her name, Jennifer Garner, still got it. Seeing Gambit, which I heard was Channing Tatum's dream was to be Gambit, and he did it very well. Was really cool to see Chris Evans as Human Torch after he's already been Captain America. Was beautiful. It was just cool to see that. To see Wolverine and Sabretooth face off. And that old line that when Sabretooth asked, do you know how to kill me? And Wolverine said, I'm going to cut your head off. And see how that works. And for it to be shown in this movie, it was just a lot of fun moments like that. This was just a fun movie for comic fans, for people who watch the older movies. And it was a respect. I have a respect for Marvel, because hopefully they keep this up. It really seemed like they was like, okay, we messed up. We're sorry. we're sorry. Let's give you this fun, a lot, nostalgia, like all this, fun, what was kind of movie. Because the reason I say I think they apologize is because you even hear Deadpool making fun of Marvel, of their movie. So for Disney to allow that to happen, it's like they knew they messed up. And I can appreciate that. Because I ain't that person that I'm not going to throw hate out there and just say they'll never do better. I always hope they get better. So hopefully Deadpool is a sign of what's to come. I'm not talking about having nostalgia all the time and I have all these classic characters. No, I still want a good story from here on in. Deadpool was okay with the mid-story, mid-villain because of what else they did. But now I'm hoping they see, like, we're here not to be preached to of, who run the world girls kind of thing, or these other ideas, whatever politics, all these other politics, which I don't want to get into. We're not here for that. We're here to see superheroes do what they do. We're here to see the right ones play them. All this other stuff. So yeah, shout out to Deadpool Wolverine. Honestly, I ain't gonna fry. I lost a lot of hope in Marvel and Disney. After Endgame, it was really small pickings of good projects after that. This one was, all right, my bad. Let's get back on track. And hopefully they follow through. So number 2 is Deadpool. Now, number 1. This movie is number 1 because I was introduced to this franchise because of y'all and friends. And I ain't gonna front, I did not really give this movie a time of day because I was thinking about how gory and bloody it was gonna be. Like, I can watch some gore and all that to a certain extent back in the day. But then I would get sick. And I decided to give it another shot because of how many times fans of y'all and other people have been telling me to go check out this franchise as a person who likes horror. This is more of a bloody gore fest horror, but still, they think I would love Art the Clown. And I went through this whole phase of looking up different, reacting to different videos so people can explain to me the first Terrifier and second Terrifier before I see Terrifier 3, which I believe is number 1. And the effect I had of that movie, I had a fun time. Like, it was a lot. Like, I was laughing. I was intrigued of Art the Clown. Like, I don't know who the actor is that plays him, but what he does without talking, and I hope they keep that. Don't have Art the Clown start talking. But Art the Clown, his attitude towards things, it was very intriguing. It was like, Art the Clown, Terrifier really made Art the Clown a character on a Mount Rushmore of horror creatures, or horror, I guess you could say creatures, but he's up there now. I believe now that watching this, and then I went back to watch the other ones, Art the Clown, the character, when I look at the movie, just the character is up there with Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Art the Clown. Shout out to whoever created Terrifier. He built a legend in the horror genre. It's a gore fest. It definitely is. And I go front, even though I wasn't sick this time, like I've grown out of that, it was still, goodness gracious. But I go front, when you're looking away, you're still like, what else he about to do all day? But his attitude towards everything, I thought one of the funny parts was, there was 2 of them, but he was in a dorm, a college dorm, and he's hearing this girl talk about him, and his emotions, like, she's giving him like some love, and he's like, he talks a lot through just his movements and his face. It works. He's literally his own, meaning he is one of the faces of Halloween from here on in. 20, 30 years down the line, it'll still be Art the Clown. He'll be one of them. But yes, the effect I had leaving Terrifier 3, I really enjoyed myself. Enjoyed the other cast. I forgot the lady's name, but the leading lady, I thought she did well. She did a good job. But honestly, when I watched Terrifier, I'm looking for him. And every scene that he was in was a steal. He stole the show. You're watching Terrifier for Art the Clown. What is he about to do next? When he did that scene in the bar, that was awesome. It was awesome. Granted, there are some moments I was like, whoo, like that bathroom scene, goodness gracious, But, and for them to add as a Terrifier Christmas, I thought that was cool. My wife be laughing at me because sometimes I'll be humming, I'll be saying, I'm like, it's a Terrifier Christmas. But, yeah, it was number 1 because of the effect it did for me. it lived up to what y'all been telling me and what other people been telling me to go check this franchise, because I always said no. No, I don't want to give this kind of movie attention, all this other stuff. And I remember I caved in and I said, okay, let me look at this other stuff. And I was intrigued with those videos I was watching. Shout out to those YouTubers who were sharing about Terrifier for me. Then to go see it and not be disappointed, to be entertained throughout the whole movie. And I know the movie went for like 2-something hours, which is, if I remember correctly, like movies like this, it's usually weird that it's that long, but it's done well. And it's making me looking forward to seeing what Terrifier 4 is going to be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure it could be sometime next year, hopefully. But this was my first time watching a Terrifier movie this year. And the effect it gave me on something. I love trying new things when it comes to film and all that. And sometimes it's a hit. Sometimes, a lot of the times, it's a miss. I'm glad this one was a huge hit for me. Is it an out of this world movie, as in like script, story? No. You're there for Art the Clown. But every time Art the Clown is there, and I'm glad the movie gives him a lot of screen time, because we are there to see him. Every time he's on screen, still breaker. He steals the show. It's done very well, and because of that, I put it at number 1. I put it at number 1. If you have a weak stomach, definitely don't go see that. Definitely don't. But personally, because of the whole year experience I had with Terrifier, that is number 1. So, yeah, there we go. And looking at the time, it went just as long as the top 10 worst movies I've made. But, yeah, go check that out, too. I had a list of top 10 worst movies. I'll put it somewhere here on the screen. And, yeah, let me know what's y'all's. What's your favorite top 10 movies of the year? Let me know in the comments below. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll do another video of movies my most anticipated movies of 2025. I'll do that probably on New Year's Eve. We'll see. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.